Hi everyone, you're watching John FX. In this video I'm going to make technical analysis for the coming week. For main pairs, we will look at important levels and possible entry points. As you know, it's based on my own strategy, and of course we will look a little bit at what happened this week, and we will see what to prepare for the coming week. So don't forget, as usual, to check all the financial and political news events and make notes in your diary. And so we are starting with euro dollar as usual, and well, here's the picture of the week this week, what happened. And as you remember that we were waiting for bulls and bears to fight, and as you can see that bears actually won the fight. So, and I was telling you that I was looking for a little bit better entry point while they were fighting to each other, and as you can see, so that's I gave you a previous week these two levels. So here was the breakout point, which happened on Monday, and I didn't have very many trades this week, so I'll just have a little overview of the trades quickly, and of course what we will look next. So we, as you can see, market broke, then had a small channel here. This is where I got into the trade down to the next levels. I'm just trying to point out that some of you who just at the beginning of trading and how it works on levels, right? So as you know, I always look for consolidations around important levels and creation of different patterns. And so here we dropped, so I had a small trade, only 10 pips on this one, and then we had a really nice consolidation at another level, and I placed my orders, pending orders, as you know, as usual. Here I could place only a sell order. It was a little bit more better than placing the both directions, and we had a beautiful drop. As you can see, we had all week of good news, and here we go, wonderful. We smashed all the other levels. I actually come out a little bit early at this level. I closed and missed a little bit of more movement, but as you can see, afterwards market, as expected, started to have a bit of correction. So here is the good entry point. That's what I was telling you I was waiting for. And here we go once again. Now we stopped here. Let's just have a look at the bigger picture. So I have all my levels still there. We'll have a little bit more bigger, and this is where we are right now. So as you understand, obviously I'm going to wait for consolidations around exactly the same levels as I have here. So this is if we will go up, any consolidations at all those levels, and if we will go down, of course, this is going to be next level to look at, because as you can see, it is a downtrend channel, right? So we have a bit of the downtrend channel here. So let's go on the smaller charts once again, just quickly, which levels I'm talking about. So right now, as you can see, we stopped between these two. So I will start with this movement to either come back to this level, or maybe it will continue as a correction and we'll go to this one and start to have some consolidation around here. I will not go for anything between these ones because they are very close once again. And so for me, like I'm saying once again, this is how I prefer. You can see how my strategy works. And so that's why this is exactly only my preference, right? So I would want to go here and consolidate. So if it will miss that one, so possibly go back to this level once again, and who knows, go to the next one and up to the high. And from here, if it will go down to this one, so if it will miss that one, for example, then if it will drop, then of course consolidation around here, and obviously if it will start to break out, then it's a big field, and then we will just look at what is possible to look around that area. As you can see, a much bigger picture. All right, so here obviously in the middle we will have enough space for waiting for any slowing down, and a possibility for placing the pending orders. Of course, after such a big movement drop down, of course, my first thing would be expectation of a bit of correction, right, and go up a little bit now. But you never know, because we haven't finished, right, our downtrend. So we have all the bottoms of the candles. You can see even the wings were touching that level. So of course the possibility of first maybe we will touch this and then we'll try to turn around. So it's quite possible, but this is a bigger picture. And on the smaller one, like I'm saying right now, I'm trying to trade 30 minutes and 1 hour charts, unless it is news events, which is still on news events, it's 5 minutes. I'm looking at, and so otherwise we'll start with this area and 30 minutes 1 hour chart. So that's euro dollar. I think it's quite understandable. Now we'll be looking at pound dollar, which is also a quite perfect movement this week. This is where we stopped, and I was expecting some consolidation around this level. As you can see, we had a drop, which I didn't take because it was on Monday. This time I didn't go for it. And next we had some consolidation around here. And here is another a good drop down. This is the trade ahead, and then we had again small consolidation. Once again you can see where it's all happening around the levels, right? And then we had another drop, which was stopped by next level. So I didn't take this trade, but this was another possibility. So I could draw a little bit of downtrend, and which I didn't really need to, but because it was pretty much consolidating at the levels. But anyway, I did that, and so we're going in a little bit bigger chart. So you can see a picture now, kind of looking a little bit like a big head. Maybe it will be a shoulder. I draw this, so you see this level. So I would wait for, first of all, consolidation around here. Maybe it will be not very wide, so I can then place orders pending on the buy and see if it will go back to the this area, and of course pending on the sell and a possible going down. So this channel, as you can see, I will be using if we will go down. So that could be a possible stopping point. Okay, so now you know why I need it, even though I do have a little bit of movements here, but I will be looking at going down and see if it will be possible stopped by the area, and of course any consolidation between, and who knows, going back up or continue to the next level. So that's pretty much it. Easy with pound dollar. So looking at this area, and of course if it will be who knows, smashing it, then see where it will be stopped again, right in the middle somewhere here, and then possibly down to next. And if we will go up without any consolidation, to see if it will touch, maybe it will do the same as the previously, a little bit messy around here, but hopefully not. We'll see, come back to this area and see for some consolidations around this level if we will go up. And of course if it will go more, then of course between these two levels quite enough of the area for any slowing down and consolidation, just like it did here. See, when it started to have a bit of correction here, it was in the middle between one and another area. Okay, so the little shoulder. So that's pretty much with pound. I have all these levels now. This is what I will be looking at coming week. Don't forget, of course, about Brexit news. A lot of movements happening because of that. And we are looking at Australian dollar right now. So I didn't go for any trades with Australian dollar. We had a bit of the movement. Let's go again 1 hour chart because a bit better picture. I was expecting possible creation of head and shoulders around here. You see it was a shoulder. I thought maybe it will be head, but it went up and then it just was a bit messy. So I didn't. I decided not to go for anything. So could probably just draw a little bit level here and on the way down to make some profit, but I decided not to go for it because I didn't really like much of anything around here. So now we're down to a next level. Once again, we have a little bit of the shoulder possible. Maybe it will be head. So that's why I have now this area to look at. And if it will have some, well, wherever, maybe it will give me a shoulder or anything. So I will be using this level to placing orders buy. And well, depends how it's going to go inside here. Then possible maybe it would be a use of the level sell. And as we are looking at the bigger picture, it's pretty much looking, that's why we're using the bigger picture, looking like a bit of a triangle, right? And of course the next area is going to be this level. Once again, you have to go on a bigger chart to see where that's coming from. It's the previous, the bottoms, right, of these bottoms. So that's why, of course, expectation of a possible continuation could be, or we are still at this moment, we didn't break it, so we are still kind of looking at it as a triangle, right? So here. So that's why looking at any possibilities, where can we go. So of course, as a bottom of the triangle, my first expectation would be of turning around and possibly go back up, creating all the way to the next, given the next top. But it's again depends on what the news are going to be. So that's why, of course, the movements both directions are still possible, right? So that's Australian dollar. Now we are looking at dollar yen, and I didn't have any trades this pair too. Like I'm saying, not many trades this week. We stopped at this level, which was telling you again, waiting for some consolidation. So it didn't do any very close to the level. It started to go a little bit away, and I thought maybe it will end up as a possible flag. First, it obviously gave me a little bit of the double top. Now we're going a bit smaller chart, so you would see. and it wasn't as strong as I wanted it, so that's why, as you can see, that was the one top and it was another top. So could obviously draw a level a bit here, and of course as a double top, placing the orders from that down a sell, right? So but as it started to come out a little bit messy here, I decided just to stay away from it. And obviously you see it's nice movement. So right now, to be honest, I would rather to see that to finish its way down inside the channel, possibly give me something around here, and then I would be looking at placing orders in here. I don't feel comfortable to do so. I have channel is quite, as you can see, I have the bottom touch in here. I mean, it's not as strong in here. That's why of course that level could be a little bit moved higher or a little bit lower, and that's why I'm just not exactly, you see, you can try to put it a little bit higher to this, but it's not as very nice. So that's why I'm just going to leave it as this and see if it's not going to possibly come back in this area. I want to come back to this area because it's closer to here, as you can see. So if possibly we go down to this level, then I would be a little bit more comfortable to look at it and to see, except it's still a good distance, but like I'm saying, because the level is not as very correct as the previous of the bottoms is not is very big. One was a very big movement down, as you remember. That's why I would rather to see a little bit more of consolidation, possibly maybe same area as it was here. Remember, it was a good pennant previously, and which turned into a bit of the channel, which will go with slightly around this area of the channel level. So that's why I would just wait a little bit more for a bit movement and see a bit of the consolidation once again. So if not, then possibly I'll just leave it alone and see, well, if it's not going to go here, maybe return here, unless okay, it will go higher and will go with something in the middle, right? Again, once again, close far enough to one level and far enough to another level. So maybe it will give me a bit stronger pattern, right? Go a little bit higher like this, as it was going a little bit that way in here. So something you see like in the middle and parallel, right? One level and another level. So if it might go like this, then I'd have a look at it. Okay, but right now I don't really like it as much how it stopped. I mean, the entry point was here. Obviously, I missed it now, and that's why I needed a little bit more of giving me something. So if we go like this, then yes, maybe go like here, around closer to here, yes. But this moment, no, not really good for me. Okay, now we're going to dollar card, and again we're going to 1 hour chart, and I didn't go for the trades this week, as obviously I was waiting for some consolidation, except it started to have the same slowly just jump out of the channel and started to continue its way up. And well, I could have probably just placed my pending orders buy and to see if it will reach next level, which it did. And as you can see here, had a small consolidation around here, then had a small drop, and well, pretty much didn't give me the way I traded, didn't give me anything to go for it. So that's why, well, of course, after such a strong movement, like I told you, I would have expected a correction first, but it, see, it didn't drop straight away, so I was expecting to continue moving up, but for me it wasn't anything that good for me to enter the trade. So like I'm saying, it's not a big deal. Like you also have to teach yourself to, you know, have to wait sometimes, not to jump into something, a little bit more confirmations for anything. So it's not a problem. Right now you see it's reached one of the levels before, and it started to turn around in here, which pretty much is expected after such a big movement. It didn't want to correct halfway through, it went right to that. And of course I would wait for, well, I mean, right now we already started to go down, maybe still a little bit more consolidation and possible either have a correction, or who knows, maybe it will have just consolidation and continue its way. But right now, as you can see, like that, I was telling you a bit of the diamond fishy pattern, which we had as a fish before. It dropped here, and it was a very strong level. just as I was warning you about it. And once again, you see it jumped out from it and get inside this area. So pretty much I could look at it here, maybe consolidation. It's quite a wide area, but maybe still between them, right? And use that level as a selling point and that level as a buying. But to be honest, right now I can possibly move it because we do have a little bit of the stop and we have these two bottoms. So I can move it something like this, okay, and look at it this way first, and see if it will have a bit of some consolidation around here, and maybe we'll go down inside this channel. Okay, so that's, I prefer a little bit more this way. If it will do so like that, so I will use this as a possible again stopping point. If it will ignore it and will continue its way, then I will move my levels back up again. Okay, but at this moment I just wanted to leave it here because of course my first thing is at that point is that we need a correction. Okay, it's a really good and sharp move up, and it probably needs correction. And of course I would draw this a little bit to see if we will correct in here. Maybe it would be nice if from here we will just go back a little bit more and then give us an entry point right here. But right now, like I'm saying, missed entry point. Okay, so at for that movement it was here, as you see that little channel. So as for me, this would have been nice, but I missed it. I mean, it's not huge, but still good enough to go for it. So that's why I would rather wait for it to come back and have a big consolidation. Once again, like I'm saying, follow any whatever, maybe news or anything's going to happen, and go back, and of course at the same time a possibility of continue the way up. So, and if we will go down, if it will not create anything, will not return, and if it will go down here, so of course obviously you can see it's a good distance go back up and distance to somewhere in the middle. So of course I would wait for some consolidation around this area, that level. And next, of course, it's a good field to walk around in this area. And of course, if it will go up, we have enough space around there, then we'll be moving the levels and see where to look first afterwards. So, but the first we will walking with this area. So now going to Euro Pound. Euro Pound also didn't have any trades, and as you can see here, it broke again on Monday, which, well, possible trade it was, and then it was just ended up very messy, and I didn't see anything good for entry points because it was you see how far quite close, it's a very wide movements, very close to this level, and sitting in here, so very messy to me. So looking on the bigger picture, kind of looking a little bit like a double bottom, right? So quite possible that as a double bottom it will continue going up, correcting, right, as a correction. So of course, and at the same time, you never know, right? So I would wait for some consolidation around this level. Okay, so as it's broke in to it and started to slow down here, and so maybe give me a pattern. But in this area, not too wide. If it's going to like have a bit mess again, I wouldn't go for it. But if it will do a little bit mirroring, as you can see as usual, right? So not too far from enough from the next level, so about 40 pips, but not like this, right? Not too high. Then of course I would look at this area first and place in orders once again, penny on the sell and penny on the buy. So if it will go back to this area, then of course to see any kind of correction, consolidation, and we will have to look at possible next level going, right? So all the levels, all the same. So here up, next level up, if it will go up. If it will go down, of course, from here, possibly a nice movement now and to the next level and do consolidation. If it will break it down, then we will have a look what's next. But right now we're walking in this area. So gold also had a consolidation, but not in designated and my areas where I wanted it to be. I started to see the very, very long flat channel, and I was thinking as it started to consolidate it had a bit of the movement on Monday, right? And then started to just sit in it and sit in it. I thought it was waiting for a Friday news, but it's, well, obviously it did started to move on Friday, but too early. That's why I didn't even go for a non-farm payroll news event. And so I didn't see a good entry point as on the bigger picture. That's why, once again, looking at the bigger picture, you see I wanted it to be either here or in here, but it started to walk a little bit, which I also pointed you out at this area. And as you can see, we also had a bit of the drop, and then it started to, well, gave it like a little bit of pennant previously, right? And as you can see, it's a little bit something similar here, and something like this. That's why I didn't want to risk it, and see maybe it will have the same similar movement, and then you see that here it was possible to draw something like that, right? Like a pennant. At that point there is nothing to draw, and that's why I need a little bit more time to see what is going, if it will do the same movement as it was before, or I would wait for, let's just go on a smaller chart, and I can show you where I would rather to see that, to sit a little bit here between these two levels, right? So if it will do have consolidation, that's the first I will be looking at. Then of course I can possibly place orders pending buy and pending order sell to continue down, or return into the area. Remember what I told you, my first expectation after we were trying to break is that we have possibility of sitting between these two levels for a while, right? So you see it gives us a bit of the wing. So it kind of, at this moment, it kind of gives me a little bit of idea that it can possibly still sit in this area a little bit, right? Move up and down and a little bit between these two levels. But well, anyway, that area. So that's why if it will consolidate between these ones, it would be possible return into up here once again. But you never know, because of course it can go something like this, right? Because we were here similar, and it can break here first and sit underneath and then go back. But my first, once again, like I'm saying, I'm always expecting, looking at planning different movements, right? And the first possibility still will be in this area. So that's why, of course, I would be a little bit more towards of return and going up than going down. But like I was telling you here, I didn't really like it because it's kind of like in nowhere for me, and that's why I didn't see a good opportunity for entering the trade. So that's why, starting with this, if we'll do something nice and go back in here, we'll see it might again to sit between these two levels like it was here. And remember, we had quite few possible trades previously, and of course it could be once again here, who knows. But that's the first area. If not, going up, and then we'll see what's going to be here, or maybe it will do something similar what we had here, which is a little bit too early to talk about. First we're looking at that area. If not, of course, if it will drop down again, see of course closer to this level. Of course, like I'm saying, I would always look between the levels, but as you can see, between the levels, that, for example, channel would need it to be a little bit more straight and a little bit more nicer than it is. That one was too close to this level. For gold it's very close, because you go for a lower, right, of that, you go for about 30 pips down. It's not as the other pairs. Other pairs usually I go for 20. With gold it's a little bit further. As you can see, if you will take it when it started to have this consolidation, then you would go for something like here, and you see how close it's only like 50 pips down to this area. So, and not bad distance was to this one. So, and you can see obviously it started to go back up. So, but this is my my thoughts on how to deal with it. So that's how I see it, and that's what I will be looking for gold. Now we're looking at pound yen, and also you can see how it's also worked out between the levels. And here I was looking, well, I told you look out for possible head and shoulders. It did actually create us a bit of the shoulder, right? So it was big head, and here's your like roughly shoulder. So obviously the neck area, that level, the blue level from the trend, was pretty correct, so you could have placed your orders, and obviously you see a good 180 pips down to one of the levels. It's even continues its way to the next trend level. So that was the possibility of looking for it. That was first as head and shoulders. Then it could have been drawn, just giving you the possible. You could draw level like this and see that is a little bit of like a pennant, for example, right? Placing the pending order buy from that level, and obviously pending order sell from that, to see if that could have turned around or continue the downtrend. So obviously you see it went as a downtrend, which I was telling you, of course, after movements, big movement up, right? You would expect correction, and of course from the big movement down you would expect correction. So that's, like I'm saying, it's quite understandable. The only thing is when you expected correction. So that's the only question with Forex, right? So in here now I would, of course, you see we do have levels once again using these two bottoms and well, one top. It is quite possible a trend up, and of course this is not a bad area if it will have a consolidation here. Previously we also had like a little bit of consolidation around here, so I would have looked at this area as a possible entry point, right? Pending on the buy, and of course pending on the sell for a continue, well, breakout and continued downtrend. But obviously after this downtrend, of course, I would expect maybe first a bit of the correction. So, and once again, if it will go up, then see, it might go, of course, it might ignore it and go a little bit like a bit of the flag, who knows, right? Could be, but this would be really nice if it will just go inside in this area first. So if it will go up once again, to see if it will continue and jump into here once again, just like previously, and see possibilities, right? And the next level once again. And if it will break down, and of course you see where it will go here in the middle. What do we have here? And somewhere in the middle slowing down, and of course next level we have here. So pretty much the same levels are staying as we had from the previous trading weeks. So that's your main picture. Okay guys, so that's it for today. If you like the video, don't forget to subscribe, like, and happy trading. I see you next week. Bye everyone.